What's going on, guys? It's Kwasi here for Kwasi Media, Kwasi Animations. We're gonna do something with volume, so I'm gonna be adding collections. Just kind of roll with me, and we're gonna go from there. So you got a specific question, please just ask it in the comment section, and I will reply accordingly. Do not forget to sub, like, and share. Okay, so with that being said, we're gonna do this. We're gonna add a cube. I'm gonna bump this cube up. I'm gonna go ahead and beef it up a little bit. All right, so that cube is, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring it up and have it hover over the landscape. Okay, now I'm gonna add a camera. Go ahead, lock that camera in, and go to view, lock camera to view, boom. Now I'm doing this in Blender 2.91, so you know, don't trip out on me. All right, so now I'm gonna add another collection. That's gonna be for my volume cube. So I'm gonna add a cube. It's gonna be for volume. I'm gonna go ahead and beef this up. I'm gonna add it, make 10, and I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit. All right, so I said a little bit. That went a whole lot of it. Okay, now bring it in a little bit more. Bring it up. Okay, so now when I come over here, yep, cool. Alrighty then, I think I could deal with that. All right, so I'm gonna slide this camera in a little bit more. Let me see if let me turn this off so I can see where my cube's at, because I still kind of want to see the undercarriage of the cube. All right, so I'm gonna add another collection. It's gonna be for light. So we're gonna put in a spotlight. I'm gonna take this spotlight and I'm gonna put it above this. I'm gonna go ahead and go and turn on my occlusion, bloom, and we're just gonna go ahead and go straight to the render view now, because I want to just start seeing everything come to light now. I'm gonna add shadows. I'm gonna beef this up to like almost 0.800, and then I'm gonna make this roughly about 5,000. Okay, so now, all right, its position is, I'm gonna put it over here to this side, rotate it again, and then I'm gonna pull it back because I want it to be on this side here. All right, so that being said, I'm gonna hit shift and then bring this down some to kind of make that a little bit smaller. I'll go up above, hit G, pull back a little, and there we are. Okay, so now I can see the light on the ground a little bit, but I still feel like that's not enough, so I'm gonna rotate this camera up a little bit more. All right, there we go. Now let's add our volume. I'm gonna go ahead and click this cube. I'm gonna go to the material tab. I'm gonna hit new. I'm going to where it says principle. I'm gonna hit remove. I'll go down to volume, go to volume, principal volume. And explain why, because we're going to the shape tab now. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna go straight to the camera. Now it's already pitch black dark because you can't see anything. Okay, I'm gonna leave it the density. I'm gonna leave the brightness at where it's at and go to the density and make it 0.06. Okay, now I'm gonna pull this out. I'm gonna put in a mix shader, and then I'm gonna put in a noise. Now I'll put in the noise by default just to show you how it's going to break up. So you'll see it break up, and it'll break up a little bit. So it's really difficult to kind of see. So I'm turning this off, and you can kind of, if you look at it, you can tell that it's broken up a little bit. All right. So now to create more of a broken look, we're gonna add a color ramp to that noise texture, and then the zero side is gonna make it darker, and then the white side is gonna make it break up. As you can see, you can start to see it break up a little bit in the back. On the background or the word shader, we're gonna go to 0. I want it black. So I'm gonna explain why here shortly. Okay, so here we go. The reason for using the principal volume is because it has an emission strength. So we're gonna do emission strength of 0.009. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do a series. I'm gonna do 0.006. Okay. Now I'm going to break this up more, and I'm slide it on over. So click your noise texture, hit Control T, and then we're gonna add some drivers. Okay. So it's ungenerated. We want it ungenerated. I'm gonna add some drivers. So I'm gonna add drivers on the positive to make it move. Okay. So how are we gonna do that? We're gonna go pound frame / and I'm gonna make it 120. So now you see it moving. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right. So now here, the scale you can make the scale tighter. So I'm gonna make the scale tighter at like 2.5. Let's do 2.3. And then also, let me do it again. I'm gonna go to the Y. I want to see which way. All right. So no, I want the Z then. Yeah. So I'm gonna stretch this out to like 0.3 because I kind of want it to almost look like rainfall. All right. So now I'm gonna push forward more on the dark side, because on the 0, on the color ramp, because I want it to be brighter, but I'm gonna push down even more on the whiter side. I'm gonna break it up a little bit. All right, so now I'm gonna go down to the distortion and go 0.3, and then we're just gonna keep pushing until we kind of have a little bit less. So now I'm gonna bring this up to, I'm gonna bring on the noise texture under scale, I'm gonna bring it up to 12. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and stretch out, let's say 0.130 on the scale of the mapping node. Okay, all right, let's see here. What do we have? All right, so since it's moving in that direction, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna take the driver off the X and I'm gonna put it on the Z because I wanted to go up and down. All right, okay, so I'm gonna go real slow, make sure the positive is going up because the other way, yeah. All right, so same thing, pound frame / 120, and now we have it moving. All right, so with that being said, since that's not as bright as I would like it to be, I'm gonna go 0.009, 0.01, 0.06. There we go. Let's pull it back a little bit more. 4. All right. So it's really thick right there. I'm gonna click this one and pull it back. I'm gonna pull it back some more. Click this one, pull it forward some more, break it up a little bit more. All right. There we go. Okay. So now the next thing is I want to kind of I want to take this spotlight and we're gonna beef up the light a lot more. So I'm gonna take it to 10 grand. There we go. Now I'm gonna take the cube that's in the scene, and just to be that guy, to be different, on the zero rotation, I'm going to add a driver. Okay, so let's stop through the animation, roll back on it, and I'm gonna click it, and I'm gonna do the same thing, pound frame / and then I'm gonna put in 230. So it's gonna rotate. So now we have a rotating cube with with it raining, or the volume looking the way that it looks. So I'm come back in here, I'm gonna play with the volume again, I'm gonna go to the volume cube. All right, so because I wanted it to be a little bit tighter, so now I'm gonna go and make it like 0.06. So I want it to be really thin. I'm gonna take this up to about 0.6. So I'm gonna break it up some more. It did not work because I tripped out how I touched it. Okay, and then I'll go back to 1. I'm just gonna play with it a little bit, see how bright we can get it without making it too bright. All right, I feel like this on the scale on the noise texture is too high, so I'll take it to about 6 or 30. Oh, 30 is so much better. All right. Now, it can get real crucial. Okay, I went to 4.6 on the detail. So on the brightness of, what did we go, 0.1, say 1. Oof, 0.2. All right, that's not bad. And I know you might say, well, it looks kind of strong. I'm like, well, if I render out a cut, let's say we just hit F12. I'm gonna go over to a 1080. All right, hit F12. Let's see what the render looks like. And because the thing is, it's playing with it. Now, boom. That's basically what you have towards the end there. So let me see. I don't mind that. I just feel like the detail might need to go up. So I'm gonna go +6, and the roughness can go up. Let me see, hit F12. Because the point here is to just find that place. So again, you can do this multiple ways. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. So, because even the ground from here, if you see right here at the bottom, almost looks like it's wet. You know, so yeah. And again, the cube is rotating also. So, you know, just let the cube rotate. It's gonna start over because I have it on 1200 frames. But yeah, there you go. So it's kind of cool. Yeah. Now another thing I'm starting to notice is the volumetrics are not on. So I'm going to turn on volumetrics, which are already on by default for me. It usually is off, the volumetric lighting and volumetric shadows. I'm going to go 3, and then I'm going to finesse it a little bit up to about 6, and then go from there. So turn that off and then go back to 0 because the cube happens to disappear. So I'm going to go to the cube itself. I'm going to add a material to it. And I think I'm going to make that material a bit emissive by going to 2 on it. Ooh, there we go. All right, and then see, I'm not going to let it be shiny, but I'll probably put a little metallic on it. Yeah. All right. And there we go. So got a little bit of, it looks like it's like raining on the camera almost, and tie-dye. Like this is something that you could do that could change like the entire dynamic of something. So I'm gonna go back to lighting again because I want to add another light and just do something real fast. Let me see, cut this on so I can see some stuff. Light, I'm gonna add another spotlight. Okay, and then I'm going to take the spotlight, I'm going to put it over here, rotate it towards it. This is going to be kind of like sort of somewhat like my I can't think of what type of light, but it's going to be that. Okay, so 1 second, I'm still be messing with it. Hold on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this and we're going to go 1500. Now I'm going to take its specular down a little bit. I'm going to make it kind of small. I feel like the radius is too big. I mean too small. So I'm going to bring the radius up some, cast some shadows. I'm going to give it a distance of like 3 meters. But no, I'm sorry. I'm going to find the distance for the meters. There we go. So now there's like this faint light on it. All right. So I'm gonna just kind of keep like this faint light on it because I don't want it to have, I don't really want it to be on the ground like it is. So I'm gonna fade this out a little bit more. There we go. All right. So, all right. So I did want to add a what's the thing called? An area light, and it just kind of bleed into the scene. So there we are. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Yes, sir. I like that a lot. Yeah. So with that being said, man, number love. Check y'all out. Don't forget, you can sub, you can like, and you can share. So let's go from there. Again, this is Quasi Media, Quasi Animations. Mahalo, y'all.